Hi, I'm Shawn from Threads That Bind. I have been designing and punching punch needle embroidery for over 25 years. When I started, I just used a single hoop like these here, and then I discovered these hoops that are the same hoop, except they have little legs in between them that make them more of a stand. One of the biggest questions I get asked is, what's the best hoop to start with? And ultimately, if you're going to end up doing punch needle, it comes down to choosing between single hoops that aren't fit together with legs or stands. I prefer the stand. It gives you like a little table to work on, but the single hoops are definitely more affordable. And it comes down to the size of your punch needle. You can squish it in the hoop itself and move the hoop around, but I prefer to have the whole entire punch needle in the hoop at one time. So I'd like to be able to tell you that you could purchase these single ones and then upgrade. But see the difference? The stands have these little divots where the legs fit in. So this single hoop will always be a single hoop. And I'll show you what I mean by, and then these come, you get two sizes in each. So this is a 7-inch and a 9-inch. It would be these two hoops, and they're joined together with legs. And there's lots of combinations. There's a 10-12, a 10-14. In other words, you get a 10 and a 14. This one, you get a 7, a 10, and a 14. Of course, you just choose between two of them. You're not hooking three together. And then this one, you get a 10, a 12, and a 14. My favorite one that I find I use the most is this 10-12. So we're going to open it up, clear all this away, and I'll show you how it goes together. Okay. So they're held together with a little zip strip that you just snip away. And what I'm talking about, little legs, they're right here. So after you put your cloth in one of them, I prefer to put the cloth in one of them before I put them together. But then you just put the little legs and they join together. Each set like that lap stand works like this. So when you're punching, you can sit back and hold it on your lap or have it on the couch. It's kind of hard to show here on the table, but it acts like a stand, like a table. So you don't have to. If you have a single hoop, and you're punching, then you have to have something to lean it on, and there's not really a lot of resistance. When I started, I had to hold it like this against my body, which still really works well. I did it for 5-10 years, but I just, of course, now love this. You decide which hoop you might want to start with. Each of my patterns will tell you the size fabric that I have screen printed on. This pattern is screen printed on an 11 by 13 piece of fabric. That size fits great in a size 9 hoop. This pattern is screen printed on a 18 by 20. It's the biggest cut of fabric that I make, and I usually punch that one in a size 14. I like a lot of fabric around so I can rest my hand. And of course they're designed and printed with this in mind. And this pattern is another size I print on. It is a 14 by 16. And all of that information is on the website when you purchase a pattern, what size the cloth is printed on. And that's the one that I prefer to punch in a 12. It fits really well in there. And I think I will put that one in this hoop to show you how that works. I always place the fabric in a hoop when it's not connected to the legs, just easier to work with. And this is what makes these Morgan hoops so fabulous. There's a channel here and a channel here, and one fits into the groove of the other, and it keeps the fabric, that's the non-slip part about the fabric or this hoop. So just center this over the hoop. I like to use my right hand, I'm right-handed, to tighten this wing nut. So I always make sure it's on the right side. If I was left-handed, I flip it over for that. So you just put it loosely over it. I also kind of like to have this in a corner. I don't really have a good reason why. Maybe there's extra fabric there. And I start where the fabric is the slightest on those sides. Or because you can pull this into more of an oval shape than a round. And I just get a good start on tightening it. Oh, it's so nice to get a good pull on it. I use my body to pull all the way around. And whenever I travel and teach classes, this is the first thing we do, and I go around and make sure everyone's fabric is as tight as a drum. We say tight as a drum, but truly, I mean tight as a drum. You tighten it as you go with the wing nut and keep pulling on the fabric. Once you get this in place and tightened down, you can do your whole project without ever having to retighten. And I have another product. Okay, so I think that's where I'm going to stop. But see, my fingers, I can only get it this tight by hand. But this company, the Backroom Quilter LLC, designed this Twist Easy, or Twisties, and you can find these on my website as well. It's perfect to go, oh, it slips over this wing nut, and watch, I'll be able to turn it that much more with this product, which I never could have done by hand. I used to carry pliers around until I found this. I did it 2 times more, but the pliers will ruin your threads here, and this little slot fits right over that. Probably turn it, a little more. It's just fabulous. So now, that's in there, and see if you can hear this. There's no give to this fabric. That's how tight that is. So when you're punching, you're working from the back, you're pushing your needle against that, and you need that resistance. So that's step 1 to getting your fabric ready for punch needle embroidery. If you want to connect it at this point, I take this outer ring off of the one hoop that I'm not using at that time so it doesn't catch on my clothing, and set it aside. And I'm ready to go.